last. The first wave of cold is beginning to edge our way right now, and the coldest air is expected over the weekend. Why we've issued a weather impact alert for part of the weekend, and when wind chills could be below zero.
A failing grade for St. Louis Public Schools.
We'll be able to do what we need to be able to correct this.
Tonight, the plan to regain full accreditation for district in distress. Tonight, a North County neighborhood rocked by deadly gunfire.
It is a murder mystery.
The crime concerns growing louder on a quiet street.
5 on your side, breaking news now.
Right now, St. Louis police are investigating a double shooting in South City that's left one man dead. Thank you for joining us for 5 on your side at 10. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Officers were called to Caroline Street near Jefferson about 3.5 hours ago. That's in the Gate neighborhood between Midtown and Lafayette Square. Here's what we know right now. Police tell us 2 men were shot. One has died, the other taken to the hospital. We're going to bring you any overnight updates on this breaking story on the 5 on your side app and on Today in St. Louis beginning at 5 a.m. as we continue to work to get more information.
And within the last 3 hours, St. Louis County police identified the 36-year-old woman found shot to death in her home. It happened last night when police responded to what they call a service call on Ave de Paris Drive in unincorporated North County. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend talked to concerned neighbors tonight.
Tuesday, this intersection in this unincorporated North St. Louis County subdivision looked normal with drivers on the go.
We've been here a year and it's been nothing but good. It's quiet.
But just after 10 Monday night, gunshots rattled the peace Jenny Kimbrough and her husband are used to hearing in their neighborhood.
I never seen no activities over there, no nothing. It hit different when it's right across the street or when it's right at home.
Neighbors say they heard at least 4 gunshots. They say St. Louis County police arrived and put crime scene tape around this home in the 3700 block of Ave de Paris Drive. Police now confirm 36-year-old Shayna Shack lived and died here. They say she suffered at least 1 gunshot wound. We saw 2 bullet holes in a second-floor window. No one was at the home when we stopped by. Neighbors tell me after the shooting they heard the sounds of screeching tires and a car speeding off. As of right now, St. Louis County police have not told us anything about a possible suspect.
After checking cameras, we was unable to detect anything.
It is very, very sad. It is a murder mystery.
One neighbors hope detectives will soon solve.
Somebody could find out who did this to these people, especially so close to home, because now we're worried about our family over here. Yeah, we hope they definitely find them.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
We know this is the 3rd deadly shooting in unincorporated St. Louis County so far this year. If you know anything about this latest one, call St. Louis County Police.
Well, some light rain moving through St. Louis tonight as much colder weather moves in following today's very spring-like day.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell has already issued a weather impact alert day for the upcoming long holiday weekend.
Certainly for part of it, that's for sure. As we head through this afternoon and this evening, what we're looking at here is this bitter cold coming into the weekend. We're just kind of starting it out right now as the winds have picked up. We've dropped back into the 40s after being in the mid-60s today. But it's really late Saturday into Sunday morning when we get the brunt of the coldest air. And those wind chills will be near zero. By Sunday morning, you're going to need the extra layers. You're going to need that cold weather gear for sure as we head through the next few days. Right now, the rain is coming down in St. Louis. 47 degrees, 800ths in the rain gauge now. It'll be winding down here shortly. 64 was our high. You can see the leading edge of that heavier rain. It's moderate at times, sliding south and southeast of the arch, but the rain does stretch back to about northern St. Charles County. The main cold front is farther to the north. That doesn't get in here until tomorrow morning. So we're still around 40 out the door tomorrow. Do not let that deceive you. Winds are out of the northwest, sustained around 20 to 25 miles per hour, and your temperatures are going down all day long. By tomorrow evening, as the sun goes down, we're dropping into the upper 20s. Even colder for the upcoming weekend. We'll see in a few minutes.
We're following a developing story out of the Metro East. Several fire departments are battling a large fire at the Millstadt wastewater treatment plant. This video is provided by the Millstadt Ambulance Service. You can see the large flames shooting from the building. Tonight, officials say the water is safe for consumption, but they are asking people to limit drainage from showers and appliances to limit flow into the plant.
A Jefferson City man has been charged in the murder of his wife. The crime prompted an Amber Alert yesterday afternoon. Today, prosecutors charged Malangyang Akbari with first-degree murder and child endangerment. Investigators say he killed his wife and fled with her 18-month-old son. Akbari was later arrested. The child was found with a relative. A major blow tonight for St. Louis Public Schools. The Missouri State Board of Education voted to strip the district of its full accreditation.
The move comes just months after a series of leadership shakeups and financial concerns. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon is live with reaction on a decision intended to send a loud message. Brent.
And that it is. That move from the state does what is called a provisional accreditation status. That's a drop in standing. And although the district has seen some gains when it comes to academics, state leaders say they could not ignore instability at the top. The decision to downgrade SLPS wasn't based on test scores alone. State Education Board members argued Tuesday the move was necessary due to leadership instability, transportation hurdles, and a poor rating from the state auditor.
You should be aware that there's a lot of concern about the instability, the governance instability, the leadership turnover in St. Louis Public Schools, and the board did exercise its discretionary authority today.
State Board member Pamela Westbrooks-Hodge was the lone no vote, pointing out SLPS has actually seen gradual academic improvement, rising from a 63.2 to a 66.5 on state reports. Despite that progress, Westbrooks-Hodge noted any score under 70 is still considered within the provisional range, meaning the district remains below the state's threshold for full academic health.
Please understand, this is a grave concern of the school district, and I know it is a concern of the St. Louis community.
The fallout follows a chaotic year. Superintendent Millicent Borishade was fired without cause, just 8 months after taking the role, leading to the appointment of interim leader Myra Berry.
We've made the vital changes that we needed to be able to right this district. We have a plan, and we're going to move forward on it.
The American Federation of Teachers Local 420 called the state's move, quote, unfair and dubious, claiming the district was singled out despite other districts facing similar challenges. Mayor Kara Spencer excuse me, says that the health of schools is a really big priority right now. She's working to create what's called an education liaison. Meantime, the school district says that all of this does not change what's really important: graduating students, making sure schools stay open, and making sure that the local board maintains control. We're live in St. Louis. Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
A packed house tonight in St. Charles over the future of city tourism. The city council moved their work session to the St. Charles Convention Center due to the large crowds. Mayor Dan Borgmeyer is proposing a restructuring that would combine the Special Events Department and the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Some are concerned it could impact popular festivals.
The sacred cow here is Christmas traditions. It's a great thing. I got all the numbers on where the people come from and everything else. But the fact of the matter is that it's 50 years old. It's been evolving for 50 years. And it seems like everybody now is afraid to say, well, yes, it could be better.
Mayor Borgmeyer says the ultimate decision is up to the council.
Phasing out the state income tax, budget cuts, and new taxes on digital services. Hours ago, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe made his biggest pitch yet to voters and lawmakers. Supporters say it will spark growth.
Critics warn of higher costs for families. Our political editor Mark Maxwell reports from Jefferson City.
1 year ago, Governor-elect Mike Kehoe stood on the steps outside this building and swore the oath of office. 1 year later, inside the building, he gave his assessment of the state, calling Missouri stuck, stagnant in its economy, and at risk of sliding back into the back of the pack.
Missouri's population is stagnant.
After a year in the Show Me State's top job, car salesman turned politician Mike Kehoe took a look under the hood to offer this diagnosis.
Government has clearly grown too large.
His remedy? Deep budget cuts. And over the next 5 years, slashing the state's income tax from 4.7% down to 0.
We must begin the work now to phase out and eliminate Missouri's individual income tax.
But first, he'll need your approval at the ballot box. That's where Democrats come in, branding the governor and his big idea with a new nickname.
If you enjoy paying substantially higher taxes on just about everything you buy, then you'll love Tax Hike Mike's plan.
Kehoe admits he has his eye on taxing your Netflix, Amazon, or Spotify accounts.
Today, much of our commerce happens through monthly subscriptions and digital services like online advertising, ebooks, and AI platforms that fall outside of our current sales tax base. Their billionaire owners don't pay. When these types of modern services are taxed, it will create a new revenue for local governments.
House Minority Leader Ashley Awney says slashing the income tax and its $9 billion a year from state coffers would come with a cost somewhere else.
Governor Kehoe just proposed one of the largest and most devastating tax increases in state history while trying to deceive Missourians into thinking it's a tax cut.
As renewed campaigns and messaging wars over taxes and abortion begin again, protesters left over from last year's fight over congressional maps showed up to remind elected officials who gets the final say.
We had what was called the largest rally in the history of this state here last September, and then politicians passed an illegal gerrymander anyway. So I think a lot of voters came out here today, to make a point with their presence that we're not going away.
In Jefferson City, Mark Maxwell, 5 on Your Side.
You can watch Governor Kehoe's entire address on the 5 on Your Side streaming app. Just scan the QR code on your screen to download for free.
Well, tonight, 4 vervet monkeys remain on the loose in North St. Louis. A number of monkeys have been spotted around the O'Fallon Park neighborhood since Thursday. The St. Louis Department of Health is now looking into how those monkeys got there and if the city's wild animal ordinance is violated. However, officials are waiving any charges or fines for the owners.
The Department of Health will be waiving any charges or fines that pertain to prohibited animals in the city so that these monkeys can be safely and humanely turned in. Please contact the City of St. Louis as soon as possible so that the animals can receive the necessary care.
If you do see them, you're asked not to approach them. Instead, call the Citizen Service Bureau. That number is 314-622-4800.
A father and daughter bonded for life after a lifetime apart.
I found him and I have to be with him.
Tonight, the emotional journey for a German woman who found her roots in the Metro East.
I really didn't believe it.
God is truly good.
Au revoir, Arenado. Heim Bloom's shuffling of the cards continues. Tonight, the exec talks about the trade of a Gold Glove for a new arm.
Felt like baseball weather earlier today, right? Well, the change is underway right now. Multiple surges of cold air have prompted a weather impact alert for part of the weekend. See you in 7 minutes with the nose-numbing news.
For decades, a woman in Germany searched for a missing piece of her life, the identity of her biological father. She never imagined the answer would be more than 4,000 miles away, right here in the St. Louis area.
A simple DNA test changed everything. And today, inside a St. Clair County courthouse, that long-distance mystery became a family. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski has the touching reunion.
For decades, this little girl from Germany, Susanna Egida Frank, had no idea who her biological parents were. She was adopted at a very young age and says as a young black girl, she never felt like she fit in. She always felt like something was missing.
I started to search because I knew I was different. The hair, the color.
Susanna searched for years for her parents. She eventually found her mother, who said her father's name was James Frazier, but she wouldn't help her find him. Eventually, Ancestry DNA kits hit the market and she had hope again.
After 6 weeks, I had an email and they told me that I have a match, a big match.
That match was her newfound cousin in St. Louis. She asked him if his family had any ties to Germany. He connected her with his uncle, Claudius Brooks Jr.
When they first got on the phone, she asked me if she'd been in Germany. Had I been in Germany? I said, yeah, I have. I said, I was stationed right outside of Coburg.
When Claudius was in the Army, he had an Army friend named James Frazier, but knew he couldn't be Susanna's father. Susanna says they talked for several days after that.
He asked me after a couple of days the questions and what's the name of my mother and where I'm born. And he said, I think I know who your father is. And I said, oh, really? Yeah. So after a couple of days, he told me, I'm your father.
After that, I think we both cried, or I was crying, and I said, oh my God, I said, I found my lost child.
After months of talking on the phone and visits, he officially adopted her in a St. Clair County courtroom on Tuesday. Susanna and Claudia say they now feel complete.
And he gave me in 3 years my whole life back. And there I really must say, Father, I thank you from my heart. I love you to death.
Hey man, I feel I'm the luckiest man in the world right now today. God bless.
And Susanna says she hopes she can be in the States more and in the future, Mike and Kelly.
Oh, it just warms your heart.
It really does.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Laura.
5 on Your Side is your home for the Winter Olympics, which are now 24 days away. And our Corey Miller is headed to Milan Cortina next month to cover the games. Our coverage begins February 6th with the opening ceremony.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the weather impact forecast, and we are soon to be or already under weather impact alert.
Well, we're going to have that weather impact alert really for Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. That's when the core of the cold air looks like it's coming in. And so with that in mind, that's when we really ramp things up and we need to be on guard because, you know, wind chills are going down to around maybe even below zero. And so if you're going to be out on Saturday night or early on Sunday, you're definitely going to need the cold weather gear and the pets will want to be inside. Now, this is a process to get the cold air in. It's just getting started tonight. We are still above average. We're still in the 40s right now. And likely tomorrow morning around daybreak, we're still 40, 41 degrees. But during the day, we drop all day long. We're down into the teens Thursday morning, just above freezing Thursday afternoon. Friday, we get a little bump up. And then the big time cool down arrives for Saturday into Sunday. Radar right now, you're looking at the rain. The back edge of it's coming in towards Lincoln County right now, dropping in from Bowling Green, Eolia. Troy still has a little bit of rain, still have some out in St. Charles County, Washington down to Sullivan along 44, and also along 64 here, east and southeast of St. Louis. Roads are wet at this point, but this rain's going to move out. And in the scheme of things, we need more than this. It is awfully dry, so this isn't going to do much to alleviate those dry conditions. That's the first part of this system. The front's just coming through now. That's the first front. Second front comes through around daybreak tomorrow morning. It's going to have gusty winds behind it. And we're talking wind gusts 30 to 35, maybe 40 miles per hour tomorrow, especially during the latter part of the morning into the early afternoon. So this is your upper level pattern. We continue to see these surges of cold air plowing towards the bi-state region as we head into this weekend and even into early next week. There's another batch trying to nudge down our way from Monday into Tuesday that keeps us from rebounding very much. Towards the end of the week, we do think we rebound a bit. So 3 things you need to know. Tomorrow, falling temperatures all day long. They're dropping through the 30s. It is windy and blustery. On Friday, some early flurries, then it's windy. And you basically will need some more gear, cold weather gear, because even though it's in the low 40s, it's going to be blustery. And then the weekend, that's our coldest time, maybe some flurries. Sunday morning wind chills right around 0. For most of us early on Sunday morning. That's why we have the weather impact alert for late Saturday into Saturday night on into Sunday. As we head towards Monday and Tuesday, our temperatures will go back above freezing, we think, certainly by Tuesday afternoon. In the meantime, we got some cold air we have to deal with as we work our way through this weekend. We'll time it out a little further as we get closer.
But we're not talking about, I mean, you mentioned flurries, but we're not talking about.
At this point, it'd be hard to get anything more than a little dusting in a couple of spots. Yeah. It's just too dry.
All right. Yeah. Scott, thanks. Sports is next with Frank.
Mike, did the Blues end their 3-game losing streak? Did the Cardinals make the right trade? And an NFL legend has left his job. Stick around. Sports is coming up.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel is now available in Missouri.
If you factor in the great team they were playing, the first place Hurricanes, I would say unequivocally that second period was the finest 20 minutes of the season for our St. Louis Blues. Maybe they were inspired by the three new Hall of Famers dropping the puck, Alexander Steen, the family of Al Arbor, and Barrett Jackman. Early second period, Carolina on the power play, but Nick Bukestad back from injury with a perfectly placed shot, and it's 1-0 note. Joel Hofer had a hellacious night. One save here, two saves, three saves. He had 32 on the night for his fourth shutout. Beautiful Blues hockey. Tyler Tucker, Jake Neighbors, Dalibor Dvorsky, 2-0 note. Dalibor is 20 years old. Jimmy Snuggerud is 21, and he will make it 3-0 on the power play. There's a future here, folks. Blues with a great 3-0 win. Hofer was moved by the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yeah, it's very special, for them to, tell their stories, and, each and every one of them is, so important to this organization, and, I can't say enough about them.
Think about this. If you heard that a baseball team traded a future Hall of Fame third baseman and agreed to pay $30 million of his salary for an 8th-round pick, you would say, no way. Well, it happened. Today, the Cardinals sent Nolan Arenado and the cash to the Diamondbacks for a pitcher who has never thrown a ball as a professional. Arenado is 34 years old and is coming off an injury-plagued season. He had just 12 home runs, but he was a classy Cardinal in his 5 years here. And make no mistakes, Nolan is headed to the Hall with his 8 All-Star games and 10 Gold Gloves and nearly 1,200 RBIs. The pitcher they acquired in the deal will now be an answer to a great trivia question. His name is Jack Martinez. He was drafted in the 8th round last year by Arizona. In his final collegiate season at Arizona State, the 6'4", 215-pound right-hander struck out 110 in 77 innings. But he had an earned run average close to 6. So when did the Diamondbacks actually become a potential trading partner for the Cardinals?
This particular scenario really picked up a lot of steam relatively quickly and only in recent days. We had conversations here and there, with Arizona about this at points to where you knew he was on their board, so to speak, to some level, but it didn't really escalate until very, very recently.
The Cardinals did the right thing today. There is absolutely no reason in the middle of a total rebuild to have a 34-year-old third baseman taking away reps from J.J. Weatherholt or Nolan Gorman. I think we should back off the branding of the Cardinals as being cheap. To clear that landing spot, they're paying $30 million. And to get young talent in return from Boston, they are paying $30 million of the Wilson Contreras and Sonny Gray contracts. So they took their shots with the good players, and it didn't work, and now they're starting all over again. The Cardinals also made it official today. They signed 34-year-old Ryan Stanek to a one-year deal with an option in 2027. Stanek is 34 years old, touches 100 on the gun. Last year with the Mets, he struck out 58 in 56 innings. He won a World Series with the Astros 4 years ago. Mike Tomlin has stepped down as the head coach of the Steelers. The blowout loss to the Texans last night made it 7 straight losses in the postseason. However, the resume is remarkable. 19 years without a losing season, a Super Bowl win, and 193 career wins. The man who made the best play in St. Louis in professional football history would like to win his first game as a head coach. Ricky Proehl has been busy putting together his team with the Battlehawks. They just completed the XFL draft. A thought, Ricky.
I still got a lot to learn, but I'm excited. I'm excited with this opportunity. I really am. And to be honest with you, I'm a believer. I own a business, and you surround yourself with people that are smarter than you or people that can make you look good.
I think it's really going to be cool, that first game when Ricky Proehl trots out there as the head coach.
Yeah, the crowd's going to love it.
He's the best.
Frank, thanks.
Older and wiser, the special throwback collectible celebrating the king of beer's 150-year reign.
And the Winter Olympics in Milan are just a few weeks away. You can help Five on Your Side honor the coaches who shape our athletes and our community. Submit your nominations at ksdk.com/thankyoucoach. The deadline, February 1st.
A new episode of Outside the Forecast is streaming right now on the 5 on Your Side app. This week, meteorologist Lance Walker takes a look at how the military navigates the weather ahead of high-stakes missions.
U.S. Military meteorology, of course, has played an important role all the way throughout our history. But none of them really was more important than what happened with the D-Day invasion.
On our TV, just scan the QR code on your screen to download. The King of Beers is celebrating a milestone.
Yeah, this year marks 150 years since Budweiser was first brewed here in St. Louis. And to celebrate, Anheuser-Busch is now selling 4 heritage cans. The collectibles each commemorate a different decade, 50s, 80s, 90s, and a 2026 can. And it's all part of AB's Made in America campaign celebrating the country's 250th birthday. And there you have it, 5 on Your Side at 10. We're always streaming on your phone and smart TV.
Have a great evening.